quickly, and then we'll move over to the main part of the programme. I want to thank, obviously, Joe and his wife, Luna, for travelling up from Southall. It's fantastic. I think in terms of our gatherings, the main things we wanted to get across was, number one, our key message, which Gail has done very well. Number two, have a relaxed format, that was really important. And number three, we always wanted to have quality speakers. It was all about quality, and we're really lucky to have Joe here today. He's a QC, got made up, he's a barrister, he's a QC, got made up as a QC in 2012. QC stands for two things. One, quite clever. There's a room one as well. Which he now is. The second, it stands for Queen's Counsel, and I think we're obviously in the legal world. We're looking to be in the legal world, and it's an amazing thing. It's the creme de la creme in terms of barristers, in terms of representation. He's done some really high-profile cases. I was having a look at the sort of value of some of the cases that he's dealt with, and clearly, I suppose, in terms of us as a group, the kids are coming through at different ages. Gosh, if I had to do A levels now, I wanted to do the law, I'd have no chance. The pressure is high. So I'm sure from that point of view, how he's achieved, where he's got to, it's a fantastic role model, I'm sure, for all of us. So I'm going to pass it over to Joe and let him kick off.
And Joe's lovely wife.
Yes, Luna. Yeah. It's a good question. Thank you very much,
Okay, well, everyone, traditional when you come to an event where you've been invited by friends who you've gotten to know for several years, that you thank them. Now I'm going to thank Devinder for asking me to come. Devinder, who I've known for several years, Ranjit as well, who I've gotten to know more recently through the work that they both do to promote Asian lawyers in this country. But I want to thank all of you, because what today is about, as Diljit so eloquently expressed, is really a reminder to ourselves of where we are and how far we have come. In the course of the last hour and a half, I've been talking to various of you, and I've tried to get around the room just to touch base with each of you, to know who you are, why you're here, who are you connected to, and it seems to me that everybody here is connected to everyone else. I'm a Southall boy. I'm playing away from home today. I dragged my wife there not because I thought she'd find it interesting, but because I thought I might need some protection. See, us Southall Wallas, when we come up to the Midlands, we take a deep breath. We don't know what kind of reception we're going to get. But the truth of the matter is that we are one community. Okay? We are divided across the world. We're divided even within this country, but we're one community. And it's when you come to an event like this, it's a reality check. You're a Punjabi. But like Diljit said, you wear more than one identity, and you wear those identities lightly. They're not burdens on you. These are the cloaks that we wear. They give us a sense of history, responsibility, and presence. It's 2014. How long have Punjabis existed for? Hundreds, thousands of years? But we're a nomadic people. We didn't start in India, we're not Dravidians. We came to India because we moved from somewhere else by force or by the desire to better our lives. And we may have come with Alexander's army, or we may have come from Persia. You know, my brother found it very interesting to work out his genealogy, and he sent a sample, not an intimate sample, I want to add, sent a sample off to one of these companies who break down your genes to try and figure out what your origins are. And he said to me and my eldest brother, do you know what? It looks like we come from Persia. That's where we hail from. Now, some of the kids who are here today, the younger ones and the older ones, you might want to think about that. Because we talk about ourselves very self-consciously that we are Indians who are Punjabis. But we're nomads. And we've moved more than once in our histories. When our parents moved to this country, all they were doing was what their ancestors had done. Now we're here. What's really strange, I think, and interesting and exciting about us is that whatever we do and wherever we go, for some reason we're so damn good at making it work. and establishing ourselves and moving into different areas of life and being successful. What is it about Punjabis that makes them so successful? We're hardworking. We're never afraid of a challenge. We're fearless. Why do we go into the army? Why do we end up in the police force? Why do we celebrate the fact that our own religious history is based upon the sacrifice of our gurus? Because they were fearless. They stood up when other people were too afraid to speak. And they said, you may be afraid, but I won't condemn you. But look at my example, they will say, and take courage from that. So if you want to instill in younger people what it is that makes you so proud to be a Punjabi, look back into your own history and then look into your present and see. Now I'm a barrister. That's almost incidental. I love what I do. I'm a lawyer. Like Ranjit, like Devinda, I love what I do because I believe in the rule of law. I believe that each of us can do something as good citizens to make this country work better. Sikh people have the lowest presence in the prison population of the United Kingdom as an ethnic group. Why? Why? Every time you watch TV, you open the newspapers and you hear about another Asian crime, and you wince and cringe and you think, oh God, I hope no one thinks it's one of ours who did that. Why do you feel that way? Because you know that the reputation that our forefathers and foremothers have so painstakingly built up over generations shouldn't be scuppered because others think that we're as bad as everyone else. We're not. It's not because everyone else is bad, it's just that there's something about us that makes us believe that discipline, hard work, are goods in themselves. Not necessarily a means to another end, but they're goods in themselves. Why is it nice to be well behaved? All the kids are in here, who I have no doubt have been brought up so well by your parents, who are smiling benignly at you, who were introduced so sweetly by those who were good enough to stand up and tell us. Why do you think it's really important to be well behaved? Not because it's going to get you a good job, because there's something decent, isn't there, about being a well-behaved, disciplined young person. That brings credit to your family and pride to your community. And we Punjabis have that in spades. That's why we went into the army. Because you're disciplined. That's why the British always knew that when there was a problem, they would get the Sikhs in the army to come and help them sort it out. My grandfathers, both of them, my dada and my nana, both fought in the First World War. Matter of huge pride to me. Huge pride. Fighting for people in another land whose war it wasn't their war, somebody else's war, but they knew that if you are to stand up for humanity, that's what Sikhism teaches. Then you must be prepared to fight for people you've never met. The same thing our gurus did when they stood up and said, you may not speak out, but we will. And take courage from them. It's hard to be successful in this country. And the young ones here who are starting out their journeys, going to university, trying their best to build up a career for themselves, you will have many challenges before you. And you've got great role models too. My good friend Diljit, who I met when I was at university, I had no idea what's going to happen to him over the next 30 years. You've got to remember this is going back 3 decades. Doesn't even include 3 days. Diljit has made a success of himself. I remember him as exactly the same guy he is today. And I mean that. He looks the same. He speaks the same way. He was always polite. He was always respectful. He wanted to be positive. He was never slagging anyone off. His idea of moving forward in life is to incorporate all the good values that he had learned from his parents and then project that around him. Cascade, as Ranjit would say, cascade that around him. Spread it like angel dust, because that's how you get respect from people. All this stuff written up here, which is deeply embarrassing for me to have to stand in front of. Look at all this stuff. So I was born and raised in Southall. Massive pride for me. Massive pride for me. I have never, ever, and Diljit knows this, denied the fact that I come from Southall. Believe you me, there are people now who do that. Why? Because for some people, I don't know what it is. They think that if you come from Leicester or you come from Southall, somehow that makes others think, oh, well, somebody just from a backward village or backward town. No, no. The reason I am today, all these things that these people so kindly put up on the screen, okay, is because this guy, once upon a time, was a little boy in Southall who went to school with a whole bunch of other Punjabis, yeah? And I had no doubt whatsoever about who I was in terms of the identity that Diljit has talked about. I had no doubt whatsoever. I knew exactly who I was. And I was confident. And that confidence was brought out because of the fact that I was surrounded by people who looked like me, spoke like me, and came from the same sort of families as I did. And that bound me up into a body of people that made me strong, made me believe there's nothing I couldn't do. Now, where's Visharan? Where's she gone? Visharan here. This poor woman who was dragged to Leicester by her husband after marriage. Terrible. This poor woman who started her life off in a beautiful place called Southall, on Dormerswell's Lane, which I know very well, and went to the local schools, made herself into a big success story as a dentist, and then got kidnapped. Isn't that terrible? And now she's here with her husband, of course. It's funny, making a great life for herself and her kids. And I'm very proud of what she's achieved. Come on. These are the life stories that we need to teach our children, as well as teaching them about our religion. Our religion is always going to be there, folks, but we make our histories every day. We renew them, don't we? And how do we do that? We tell our children stories before they go to bed. We bring to life their own history by telling them about our gurus, telling them about all the great heroes, the independence fighters, and everyone else. But today we have an army of people who are role models for all of us. We need our kids to know about who they are. So what is this Punjabi society doing? If not that, it's doing exactly that. Bring these people to life so that the youngsters can say, Auntie's a dentist, Uncle is a lawyer, so-and-so is a business person and very successful at it. I can do anything I like, there's nothing to stop me. This is a society that's got problems. Of course it has. British society has got problems. We've got rid of a lot of the problems, but there's still work to do. In the Society of Asian Boys, which I am joint chair of, we try very hard to root out discrimination and prejudice and racism by educating people about their rights, making people understand that the law is there to protect everyone, right? We do that because we believe, in the end, we want a level playing field for everyone. We don't say give us an advantage. We just say remove the barriers and give us a chance. Isn't that what Punjabi people have been doing for generations? Haven't we got now enough people to be able to point to and say, these are examples of what we have become? Where are we going with this? What's the roadmap for us as a community? All the boxes have been ticked. How many doctors are sitting in this room? Cam over here, I've been having a great conversation with, he's been bending my ear. He made me lose, by the way, if I couldn't make this speech, it's because of him. Because he talked to me so much, my vocal cords. Cam has been telling about all the things that he does. He's not just a GP, this man has got so many interests in his life. And I said to him, Cam, isn't it funny when you get to a certain age, and you think, okay, I've done that, tick that, I've got a career, I've got a nice reputation, is this it? Is this the end for me? Will I carry on this trajectory forever? Or can I do something else with all the gifts that I've been given?